Alright, good.
Wait.
Yeah, you guys should be on.
Hello! I am Tara, the author of Dining on a Dime cookbook from livingonadime.com. Today is November 4th, and we are talking turkey!
Talking turkey? What?
Okay, we're actually talking sweet potatoes today,
Oh, I
but
thought we were talking Christmas.
I thought you were getting serious talking turkey.
today we are starting our series on how to have a $25 Thanksgiving dinner.
Yay.
That is going to be our series for the month. The whole entire month. We get 8 full weeks of Thanksgiving this year because sadly Christmas is only 3.5 weeks
Huh?
between Thanksgiving and Christmas.
What?
It's so
Why is
sad.
that?
Because Thanksgiving isn't until like the 28th or something.
Oh.
It's really sad. So,
I'm ready
to make
just
up for it, we
skip
started listening to Christmas music
Yeah.
after we were done trick-or-treating on Halloween.
Yeah, like the second they came back, we started playing Christmas music.
The second, I guess.
It's just
The
crazy.
second that Jack came back from trick-or-treating, we turned on the Christmas music and we are ready to go.
Yes.
And all of you
Actually-
Christmas before Thanksgiving haters out there, well, poof on
You guys
you.
need
Oh, that
this.
didn't do very good. You know how the old New York lady spit? How do you spit?
Weren't we those people that used to say, "I can't believe Christmas already"? And
Well, Christmas in September,
yeah.
but this is November. Now it's time. So, okay. So, we have
Well, hello everyone.
Dining on a Dime cookbook. We have a few left in stock of our soft cover cookbooks. And then we have the pre-orders for the hardcover version that's coming out in January. And even if you order now, the hardcover, it will ship in January. Okay? So,
Bonnie says that's okay. She's Christmas decorating today.
woohoo! I'm thinking about it. I was thinking about putting up our tree.
Maybe we should mix it with the Thanksgiving since.
Well, I do remember I used to have the holiday tree before a holiday tree was a thing. I was the first person to come up with a holiday tree, I'm sure.
So that's why you're wanting to watch that movie the other day.
Yes. Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 183 is sweet potato casserole. Now, this is a traditional sweet potato casserole. You can make it with marshmallows, or you can make your sweet potato casserole with pecan topping. You can do either one that you want.
She's giving me the stare now.
Dave knows what he's giving. Mom's giving him the stare. Okay.
Oh, you're already getting the question. If you're gonna sign those books.
Well, so here's the problem with signing the books.
Uh-oh.
The books at the moment are planned to go to to Rochester, Minnesota. So,
To ship from there.
to ship from there. So I may not be able to sign the books.
She
I'm
may
not
not
gonna
even-
make.
Unless you need a good opportunity for a getaway.
That's true.
And then some hand therapy afterwards. Your poor hand for writing that many.
For writing that many.
Yes.
Signing all my fans' book for 24 hours straight.
Okay.
Signing all my
So,
fans' books. I don't
sweet
know.
potato casserole, page 183. A big can of sweet potatoes or yams.
Can you make it with fresh potatoes, sweet potatoes?
Yes, you can make it with fresh sweet potatoes. Just bake them before you put them in here.
Ooh, that looks good.
Okay? Give me a thumbs up if you love sweet potatoes as much as I do.
No.
Now, if you have a potato masher, just mash them. Or you can mash them with the beaters on the mixer. But really, this is like a 1-minute thing to mash up the sweet potatoes. So really, it's
Whoa.
not that big of a deal.
Tour, it says it's really cold and they already have ice on the lake.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Lala wants to know, what are we making this Thanksgiving? Are we making the same thing we're making here?
So I am making our Thanksgiving dinner over the next 8 shows for Thanksgiving and showing how we do Thanksgiving dinner for $25. I don't know what we're doing for Thanksgiving for sure. My sister-in-law Shayla wants us to come out for Christmas, but I wasn't sure if my brother was up to handling us out there for for Thanksgiving. And BJ probably can't get off work for Thanksgiving, so then he would be by himself for Thanksgiving. And Ellie may be working a different job by then, so then She may not be able to go for Thanksgiving. I don't know what we'll do. Okay. Who loves sweet potatoes as much as I do? Yum.
I like
Yum.
them.
Okay. Now, you're gonna, oh man, that is so good. Okay. You're gonna mash your sweet potatoes in here, and then you're gonna put your softened butter. Now, I just realized that my butter was not softened, so I am throwing it in the microwave for just a moment. Turning. No, well, no, it's pretty softened. Okay. So I put mine in the microwave for 10 seconds. Now, for those of you who don't know, butter, 1 stick of butter is a half a cup. Okay? 1 stick of butter is a half a cup. Now, for those of you who don't know, on butter, see these measurements? 1, 2 tablespoons, 3 tablespoons, 4 tablespoons. 1/4 of a cup, 1/3 of a cup, 1 stick is a half of a cup. So that you can just cut along these lines for however much you need for your recipe, okay? Isn't that nice and convenient? Okay, so we've got our butter and our sugar and what, our 2 eggs. There's 1.
Jeannie, is that approximately 2 cups of mashed sweet potatoes?
It is 3 cups. The recipe is in the description below if you're watching later. Mike has linked it if you're watching now. Then you just mash all of this together, okay?
Mash it.
Just get it all together.
Okay, I just shared the recipe in the comments and it's in the description too about how many sweet potatoes.
Okay. Get that all mixed up. All that yummy goodness. Okay. Then you're going to take and you're going to put it in a casserole dish. Now, it calls for 9 by 9. Oh, lovely. Oops.
Well, that happened. We'll just improvise.
Adapt and overcome, huh?
At least there's no flames.
Ooh, I see another apron coming on. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Okay, so let's just pick it up off the counter.
I thought that was from another.
Put it straight back in here.
It's from all kind of places.
I don't know, you hear it all kinds of places. Okay. Now.
That still shot from the stove fire last year is hysterical, yes. Actually, if you guys haven't seen it, there was a show where we had a big...
where I cooked an entire Thanksgiving dinner the day before Thanksgiving, the show before Thanksgiving, and I set my stove on fire. Okay? Did we just get it all out there in the open now?
We saved all the food, though. That was the cool part. But we made a short version of the video because it was really hilarious.
Yeah. Okay, so then you can make this topping one of 2 ways. If you're short on money, you can do marshmallows, and I'll show you that there. But I'm following the recipe first here. And let's see, what am I doing? Okay, sorry. My brain, guys, I'll just warn you right now, my brain is not with me today. I was working on the new planners with the designer today. And wow, that's all I can say about that. My brain about left, I think it left me. Okay, so if you have the money for pecans, add your pecans. Oh, good grief, I'm doing this all wrong. Dave, can you hand me a little, oh wait, Dave, is this your butter bowl?
Yeah, this morning I made butter and I set it there because I was like, Mom's gonna need it for cooking.
If you can't find the recipe in the comments as I'm sharing it or in the description for the video, you can go to our website, livingonadime.com, and click show notes, and it's right there as well. With the traditional Thanksgiving recipes.
Yes. Okay, so.
We have an explosion. I think that's just...
Okay, we'll just ignore the explosion in the thing there.
We'll fix it later.
Did you talk about if you like the sweet potato casserole with marshmallows, you can
Are you
Not put
side
this topping on.
seat cooking?
Yes.
Or are you just trying to SEO?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. So, if you want to make sweet potato casserole with marshmallows, this traditional sweet potato casserole recipe is great with that. Okay, so your pecans, your, what is that stuff called? Brown sugar? Okay, and then your flour. Now I'm doing this with gluten-free flour because I am gluten-free and I want to eat some of this because it's one of my favorite desserts.
So what's the light color on the sweet
It's
potatoes?
butter.
Oh, yum.
That just didn't get completely melted, but it won't hurt anything. Okay, so then, okay, there we go. So this is the topping. Get that all mixed together. Now, okay, boop, there you go. All right, then you just put all of this on top, and you put all this yummy goodness in the oven. Now, here's the thing. If you want to do it with marshmallows, just leave off the topping and just sprinkle your marshmallows around. But let me show you a little trick here. So let's say you have these giant campfire marshmallows left over from summer, and you're like, it is November. I am not going to be making s'mores until next summer, which starts in May. The marshmallows will go bad by then. So, what can I do with these marshmallows? You can take and cut them up, and you can leave them in big hunks like this, or you can cut them into little hunks like this, and just dot them all over. You can do them in quarters if you want, and make a regular sized marshmallow. You could do strips if you want, and do strips of marshmallows. Spray your scissors with cooking oil first, and that will keep them from sticking. See, Tara's just full of all kinds of little tips and tricks. Okay, and then just put it on top if you want. Okay? All right, so let me throw this in the oven.
Lala was asking, does the pan have to be greased?
You know, okay, so here's the thing about the greased pan.
Too hot?
Yes. The recipe... Okay, sorry. The recipe calls for a greased pan, but there is so much butter in there that I don't normally grease the pan.
And it turns out great.
It seems to work out really well. So, I don't know. Yes?
Janelle said she just started her stove on fire making her son and his buddies blooming onions.
Oh, frying blooming onions is horrible. Oh, I forgot the vanilla!
Well, do your thing.
This is like the second time.
Okay, so if you forget the vanilla, it's no big deal.
You don't just pull it out and pour some over the top.
No, that wouldn't really work for this recipe.
With this kind of vanilla, you can just drop a match on it.
So,
oh, was that like on Newhart? But we've already set it on fire. Sorry.
do you guys know which Newhart episode that is? Huh? So this is my homemade vanilla right here. I had some vanilla beans that I need to get used up. So when my sister-in-law was here, I got each of us one of these, threw in the vanilla beans, and made my own homemade vanilla.
That'll last you for a long, long, long time, right?
Yes, and if you want the recipe for that, it's on our website, or it is also on page 397 in Dining on a Dime cookbook. Okay? Okay, so we're going to get some questions, and then we're going to talk about how to save money on Thanksgiving.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were going to get questions. Kathy said that topping would be good on anything. Yeah, I bet. Oops, sorry. Janet is wondering why eggs in the recipe?
It makes it firmer. More firm? What's the proper English for that?
I would say firmer. More
Makes
firm.
it
I don't know.
firmer.
I'm not an English teacher. so-
Increases the firmness. Ooh, that could be a diet thing. Okay.
Mary says in your suggested menu there was broccoli salad. Is that recipe in the book?
Yeah.
Is it the original book or the new book?
I don't remember. So when we updated Dining, I think we put it in there. Let me see. Yes, it is in Dining on page 212. I couldn't remember if we added it to this edition or not.
What? Jeannie asked if you used potato vodka to make the vanilla, so it's gluten-free.
Ooh, they have such a thing?
It doesn't say what product, what it was created with, which probably means it's
Probably means it's wheat.
barley. I think they do barley. I was looking the other day when you asked me.
I thought it was from wheat.
I think sometimes it can be.
I don't know.
Thank you, Denise. We had another question, by the way. Any idea how many this recipe serves?
This 8 to 9 people. It's really rich, so you don't want a big piece of it. Oh, I gotta tell you guys a funny story about this recipe. Okay, so here's a little funny story before we get into the rest of the questions.
I forgot about. So.
Okay, well, let me tell you my story first. So, hilarious. Mike and I's first Thanksgiving together, our second Thanksgiving together. Our first Thanksgiving was in Wichita. Our second Thanksgiving together, when we weren't with family, we were living in Texas. And thankfully, I made it through that. Alive. It was bad. Okay, so...
Actually, she was barely conscious for 6 months.
I was really sick. It was horrible.
It was really frightening.
So,
especially when we just got married, and I was thinking, what?
What is wrong with her? So we had just got married. We'd only been married right at a year, I think. And Mike at the time was working at a steakhouse. So he was earning, but he wasn't earning a ton of money. And we got invited to some people's house for Thanksgiving. Oh, yeah. So we didn't have enough money to buy pecans though. Well, we lived in Texas, and I went on a walk, and I discovered there was pecans laying all over the ground. And I was like, well, I'll just pick up these pecans and shell them. So I picked up the pecans, I brought them home, and I sat, because I couldn't really do a whole lot more. My walk was like 3 blocks long, just so you know. But, so I sat and shelled them with the nutcracker and picked them all out, put them in the bowl, made the recipe, went over to the people's house, put a nice helping on my plate, took a bite, and I crunched. And I was like, oh no. And I took another bite, and I crunched and crunched. The whole thing was filled with pecan shells.
Ew.
It was awful. I was so humiliated. Of course, I said nothing. I just swallowed it and pretended like you're supposed to have crunchy, hard shells in your pecan topping. It was bad. Okay, question.
Actually, there's several, but Becca asked early on, can you really do Thanksgiving for $25, and is that $25 total or per person?
Oh, no, not per person. It's total.
You can do it for total, yeah.
Yeah, it's total.
For how many people do you think?
10.
Wow, nice.
Thanksgiving dinner for 10 for less than $25. And it can be done because, and I forgot to get the testimonial. Heidi shared this, I think, yesterday on our Facebook page. As a matter of fact, I had thought about sending out a press release because I was like, well, this is pretty darn tootin' good, even if I do say so myself. But one of the people on there said that she used to spend hundreds of dollars on Thanksgiving dinner.
Somebody said, I think, $276 or something in the comments. Yeah.
She said she spent hundreds of dollars on Thanksgiving dinner, and she followed our Thanksgiving, which all the recipes are top notch. You won't find better recipes, I guarantee it. All the recipes, top notch. $25. This is one of the cheapest meals of the year. So, yeah, pretty good deal. $2.50 a person. That's really good. By the way, in case you're wondering, this sweet potato casserole is $2.
Wow. Good. A few other questions. Well, actually, a couple comments too, and then so I don't want to delay you too much. Albany Mountain Homestead, I'm making your hot fudge cake. What size casserole dish are you referring to? And she's
an 8x8 or a 9x9.
Okay, so it just depends on how thick you want it.
Yep. If it's an 8x8, just cook it like 5 minutes longer.
That fudge cake is one of our family's favorites. Yeah. It's really, really good. Sorry, Erica. I know the kitchen makeover was a nightmare, but it looks fab, and I love it. Yay! Oh, and Shannon wanted to know what are the books. Shannon wanted to know what are the books you and Jill are always looking for. It says like 75 cents or something on the cover.
So
I know which ones she's talking about.
Can you run in and go get them in the closet?
Oh, and somebody else was asking if I think they're asking if your mom got any half-price candy.
Oh, yeah, I was going to show you guys my half-price. Mom didn't get half-price candy I got some half-price candy, and I forgot I was going to have it all sitting up here, and I'll show it to you here in just a minute. So, the books that we are looking for, that Mom and I like to read. So we read clean novels. They're romance novels, but we like to read romance novels that actually have a story to them that aren't... that's the wrong one.
Well, where is it?
They're on a stack on the shelf.
In the closet.
Yeah. And they're the old 1960s Harlequin romance novels. So before 1970, and on the front cover, how Mom tells them is if they say 75 cents or less. Dave, can you start setting all this stuff up here for me? If they say 75 cents or less on the front cover, then they're an old one. And we know that they're clean and ain't gonna be nobody sleeping with nobody and all that kind of stuff. So,
this isn't the same type as the one that one time I read that one that I was like, what
yeah, well,
are your
it's
books
similar.
like? But that one wasn't Harlequin, it was something else.
No, that was Grace Livingston Hill.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but like these old ones, and see how it says 75 cents on there, right there. If it's 50, 65, or 75 cents, those are the ones. And these are all the ones that I got at the thrift store the other day. Here's another one, 60 cents. See, that one's 60 cents right there. These are all the other ones. But, you know, we usually don't spend more than a quarter. I paid 50 cents for all of these. But usually we don't spend more than a quarter. But it's the old ones. The old ones. So, if Mom or Grandma and you guys are going through and they happen to have a whole stack of these, let me know and I'll pay you the shipping for them. So, wait, Dave, there's still another package over there.
No, the other package is chips and stuff.
No, there's another package over there.
Yeah, look.
That's...
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, yeah.
There you go.
Sure, Marilyn, I always wear the aprons on the show. As a matter of fact, one of our viewers sent me this Thanksgiving one. Thank you very much. And I love it.
Oh, it's
so
very
cute. So cute. I love the old-fashioned things, so I really like that.
Yes, Valerie, I don't know if you said that, but Valerie says Kroger has candy 70% off.
Okay, so I'll talk about my candy. Go ahead.
Oh, well, usually they keep it at like 25% off these days until significantly later, but I guess they were in a hurry to move it. And we went in the very next day, kind of accidentally, because Dave wanted to go look for...
him some.
He wanted to look for clearance, but I was thinking, it's not going to be that great. But it was all 70% off.
I can't believe you said it wouldn't be great. Like...
So, well, because it's been 25%, so I haven't even wasted time going. So Mike calls me and he says, it's 70% off. So we went and we got Mounds for like $1.25. These Cadbury things,
$1 something.
$1. Hershey's Kisses,
$1 a bag, basically.
$1 a bag. So
it's
here's
like
the thing.
$1.10 or something, $1.07 or...
Yeah. So here's the thing. I can't find chocolate chips on sale here under $2 now. This was $1. So we just get the Hershey's Kisses or the little Hershey's candy bars. And usually we get the little candy bars, but we didn't know they had any. So we got the Hershey's Kisses, and we just used this for our Christmas baking. So we got about 15 Hershey's Kisses, because all of this, you guys are going to see all this on the show for our Christmas baking. So I got all of these for our Christmas baking. And then, let's see, what else did we get? We got this great big one right here of chocolates and all that. Now these ones, guys, you can throw in the freezer and save them for later to use throughout the year. This was, I think, $3. I think this was $3. And then we got, what do we got? Jack wanted candy corn. Got, well, Mom doesn't know it, but she got some Snickers for Christmas. Several of these are going to be for Christmas stocking stuffers.
Supposed to tell her to plug her ears really fast.
Mom wanted caramels. Caramels were, I think, 60 cents each. M&Ms right there. So, all of this back here. Can they see all of this, Dave?
Oh, yeah.
Can they see all of this?
Yeah, they can
it
see
all?
everything on the counter.
Okay. Everything
Oh.
was $50 for all of this. But then I also got an additional $13 for my grandma, because my grandma has a little candy bag that she refills for all the great-grandkids and grandkids. And so she refills that, and she uses Halloween candy all year to fill that little bag. So when the grandkids come, they can come pick out candies out of her little bag, or when she goes to visit them. So all of this was, I think, $50, if I remember right, which would have been more than $200 worth of candy, and probably 25 of that is Christmas baking, and the rest is for stocking stuffers and Easter.
We've got some questions that are going to lead
And Valentine's Day.
lead very well into your Thanksgiving. But before we do, your mom said to tell you what Dave did when you made pancakes with kisses.
Oh yes, so here's what's hilarious. Oh, I still even have it right here. So so after they got home that morning from shopping for candy,
You just talk over it.
after we got back from shopping that day, David said, "Mom, can I have some pancakes?" And I said, "Sure." So I made the pancakes, and he came in and he said, "I suppose you want kisses for the pancakes." I said, "Of course I do." He said, "Wait, I am prepared for that." And I was like, "What?" So he goes running in and he brings me back this, and he says, "Here's your kisses, Mom." That's
Well, I just
not
said-
what I was meaning.
I said kiss singular.
Oh, excuse me, a kiss.
One kiss.
But he was prepared with the kiss, Dad.
Yay. Okay, so we had a couple questions that are leading into this, but Creston asked, how long can a frozen turkey stay in the freezer? I have one from last Thanksgiving.
Oh. Well, okay, usually 6 to 9 months, but here's the thing. What I would do, since you already have it, you're only wasting 1 stick of butter, which is about 50 cents. You've already got the turkey. Throw the stick of butter in there and go ahead and just cook it and see if it turns out.
So if it stayed frozen, it's not probably dangerous?
It's not dangerous, but it might have freezer burn.
So it might taste a little strange.
So it might taste a little off. But I would go ahead and cook it, and if it works, great. If not, you're out 50 cents, but you're not out a whole turkey. I mean, you know, by just throwing it away. There's a 50-50 chance that it would be good.
Somebody was pointing out there was a paper on the stove under the candle.
Oh,
I thought you put the
oops.
chocolate on the stove, it's at 350 on the stove. Or all the oven
Oh
is
yeah,
right
that's
there.
probably not good. But use our turkey recipe in Dining on a Dime or on our website. It is the best stinking turkey you will ever eat in your whole entire life. And I guarantee it.
She dropped it.
And there are hundreds of people that will testify to that. So follow our turkey recipe on our website or Dining on a Dime.
So Christine said that she checked and Butterball said 3 years, she said.
In the freezer,
Well, if it's sealed, it might be okay.
maybe if it's vacuum sealed,
I would try
guess.
it. I would just not
I mean-
try it like a short amount of time before your most important guests were coming.
Well, I mean, I would at least cook it for your family. At least cook it for your family. And maybe have a standby of pancakes or something if it's just horrid freezer burn. But, you know.
Okay. Sorry, it seems like there was something else.
Okay. Anelia?
I think it's Analia.
How can you do dinner for $10 for $25? It costs me generally over $100 for 20 people. You are not
Enter
shopping correctly.
Part 2.
So, here's part 2 of how to do Thanksgiving for $25. It's how you shop and how much food you make. Now, first of all, as a general rule, most people make way, and I mean way, more food than they actually need on Thanksgiving. You do not need to have 6 pies for Thanksgiving. Now, all of these, this whole entire menu right here, it's all broken down, Thanksgiving dinner for $25 on our website. Mike will leave the link. It's all broken down right here. But here's the thing. everything is pretty much homemade, but it's not hard homemade, okay? It's not like you'll maybe spend an hour cooking all of this, but you're not going to spend 8 hours in the kitchen doing this, okay? It's not a ridiculously long process either. Turkey is 69 cents a pound on sale. Stuffing, it's 50 cents. Start saving all your heels from your bread, all your stale bread, all your dry bread, not moldy bread, but just your dry and stale and the heels that the kids don't want to eat. Start saving all those in a freezer bag in the freezer, and that's what you're going to use for your stuffing, okay? So something that you would normally throw away, you're using for your stuffing. Gravy is about 25 cents because you use the butter and the drippings from the turkey that's already been used.
This is a question we're getting a lot of right now.
Turkey for 69 cents, how is that
No,
a question?
people are just saying the turkey itself is $25. Not a lot of people, if a couple
Well,
people.
you guys aren't buying your turkey right. You wait until they go on sale for Thanksgiving for 69 cents a pound. Or buy $25 worth of groceries and get a free turkey, or $100 worth of free groceries. So save up going to the grocery store and then go buy your groceries for the month and get your free turkey. Or even better, go several times and stock up on some things. So okay, let me get through the list on what's for Thanksgiving dinner, and then I'm going to tell you how to shop, because that's what I want to actually talk about. Dinner rolls, you can do homemade for 50 cents or store-bought for $2. Mashed potatoes, $1 to $1.50. Broccoli salad, $2. Deviled eggs, $1. Jello salad, $1.50. Sweet potato casserole, $2. If you use pecans, $1 if you don't. Chocolate pie, $2. Pumpkin pie, $2. And iced tea, 25 cents. That's what you're having for your dinner. Now, it's in the shopping. It's in the shopping, guys. All of this, everything we teach, is in the shopping. But it all culminates to Thanksgiving week, before Thanksgiving week, when everything is on sale. So, my first tip is start right now this week using up everything you can in your freezer. Get everything cooked up, cook all your dinners from your freezers, your snacks, whatever. Start getting used up to make room for the butter that's on sale, the turkeys that are on sale. When they're on sale for Thanksgiving at 69 cents, 39 cents, free, I stock up and I will get as many as 6 or 8 turkeys, depending on how empty my freezer is, because I personally love turkey. I would eat turkey over chicken. Oh dear, I forgot to put dinner in.
You forgot to put dinner in? What do you mean?
Just remembered I forgot to put dinner in. I will eat turkey over chicken any day. So I love turkey. Now, here's a little trick. Mom discovered way back when, in the great big olden days, in the old olden days, when I was born, Mom discovered that, so back then, the turkeys were only on sale if you did for like 20 pounds or more. You got these huge turkeys. So what she discovered was that the butcher would slice her frozen turkey in half and wrap it up, and she would throw it in the freezer. And then she would only cook a half a turkey instead of an entire turkey. So if you can't find smaller turkeys for the inexpensive price, which they do have more of now it's a lot easier to find a 10-pound turkey than a 20-pound turkey. But if you can't find the smaller turkeys, ask your butcher if they will cut them in half. And what I do is I have the butcher cut them in half, and they stack in the freezer easier, so that my half-cut turkeys, I can get 2 to 3 turkeys, halves, stacked on top of each other, and I'll do 2 rows of turkeys in my freezer. Does that make sense? So I'll have 2, wait a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I'll have 18 halves. So I'll have up to 9 turkeys in my freezer. Then once every 2 or 3 weeks, I'll just make a turkey dinner just to have turkey dinner just because it's so tasty. So it's all in the shopping. So what's going on sale? Your butter's going to be going on sale. Your turkeys are going on sale. Your pumpkin, stock up pumpkin for the rest of the year. I mean, you can have pumpkin in January and February, like pumpkin bread, that kind of stuff. It's really yummy. The other thing is to check after Thanksgiving, because a lot of times, like Halloween, if they have overstocked on pumpkin, I have found pumpkin for 25 cents a can. And one year I got like 20 cans and it lasted me like 5 years, because you don't have to use your pumpkin right away. So, it's all in the shopping. The other thing things that go on sale are potatoes go on sale. Things like chocolate puddings, pecans, brown sugars, powdered sugars, all of those kinds of things. This is the time of year to stock up on those things and get 6 months worth so that you're saving money into the future. Okay? All right, next.
Oh, for questions?
Yes.
So is there any kind of a special trick to the $25? I didn't hear everything you said, but a couple.
Well, the
people are
special
still
trick
talking
is
about
the
it.
way you buy the food.
So
Only buy the food when it is at its cheapest.
And are there like special times when it's turkey's most likely to use? She probably just said that.
Yeah, the week before Thanksgiving.
So that's when you'll find it for the cheapest.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people were talking about having to buy a huge amount of groceries to get so much.
Okay, I don't understand what. Okay, sometimes they'll say $100 worth of groceries. But guys, $100 worth of groceries is nothing. I mean, so go and stock up on the stuff that's on sale. Go stock up on your brown sugars, your powdered sugars, your butter. What I do is I clean the door out of my freezer, and at Thanksgiving, I just fill my freezer door with butter because it's the cheapest this time of year. So I just go and buy all I can and put it in my freezer. So I don't understand. You're going to spend $100 on groceries for the rest of the month. Why not just wait and do it that week? So yeah. And here's another thing. I know a lot of people get turkeys for Christmas bonuses, but I always thought that was kind of rude if you ask me yourself, because that's like a $10, $15 thing. Maybe $20. I mean, it helps out, but my goodness, boss, you could do a little bit better than a $20 turkey for a bonus.
Yeah.
That's just my 2 cents.
And one thing,
not to burst your bubble, but
well, I think you've already addressed this, but one thing a lot of people are I think you can't say, oh, it's going to be $25 if we have 4 days worth of leftovers.
No, and that's what I was. Okay, so here's the thing.
Because that means that's more than one meal. So then it's still, yeah. So it's $25 for Thanksgiving, but if you make 4 times as much food as everybody needs, then you're actually doing 4 meals.
Yeah.
4 Thanksgiving dinners.
Well, and here's the thing. Just a little bit more.
Did you talk about, people are saying stocking up on turkeys and butter. You said that, right?
Yeah.
For Thanksgiving? Perfect time.
And here's the thing. Just, why are you so worried about leftovers? If you don't want to eat turkey for 4 or 5 days, that's fine. But first of all, you can make turkey soup. You could make turkey sandwiches. You could make a turkey casserole. We have a whole article on using leftover turkey on our website, livingonadime.com. Just type in turkey leftovers so that it's completely different meals. So you're not eating leftovers. You're pre-cooking for the rest of the week. But here's the thing. Okay, so let's say you don't want to eat turkey variety meals for the next 5 days. Just package it up and freeze it, and I bring little packets out, and we make a turkey dinner that's already pre-cooked. I just put the turkey in with some gravy and a piece of aluminum foil, and I throw it in the freezer and freeze it. And then we have a really yummy turkey dinner that takes me literally 30 seconds to prepare because I just put it in a little pan in the oven and it's done. So
Brilliant. We have...
And then, and one other thing before I forget. Don't forget, I save the turkey bones. I love turkey soup. Now, like I said, I love turkey. So all of you who don't want your turkeys, just send them to me. That's fine. But be sure to use your turkey bones. Just throw them in the crock pot if you want. Fill them with water and turn them on. If you don't feel like dealing with it because the next day's Black Friday and you're going shopping or whatever, Mom just wraps the whole aluminum foil that she bakes the turkey in and just wraps the whole thing with the bones and everything, all the bones, and she just throws it in the freezer. And then after Christmas, she makes turkey soup. So, yeah.
Wow.
Don't make it so complicated. Yeah. Questions?
Oh, sorry, I was just looking. Some various questions about things that aren't the Thanksgiving. And then some other questions about specific recipes.
Do you do a cornbread salad recipe? I've never heard of cornbread salad. So no, I don't. Sorry.
There was another recipe.
I go crazy going through millions of recipes, spending a fortune when it just comes down to turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffings, and cranberries. Exactly.
Well, that's one thing that we were starting to realize because we used to do this huge extravaganza and we realized that much of it didn't really get eaten. And we would be days and days and days of eating it and usually overeating it because there was so much of it everywhere.
Well, we just stopped making so much food.
And so we stopped making as many different things.
Yeah.
Donna says spices are always on sale for the holidays. Did you mention that?
Okay, so while you guys have more questions coming up, spices are a great time to
do we want to
what?
Do we want all that other stuff on the screen? We can blow it up.
No, it's fine.
Okay.
Spices, this is a great time to buy your spices for the rest of the year. Okay, so
Immediately block your
you are testing my patience today.
That's my job.
Okay,
Kids
so
moving out. Somebody's got to do it.
we have a new apron design. I want to show you guys while you're getting more questions up, okay? Are you ready? Drum roll. Oh, we need our... Oh, never mind. I don't feel like looking for the drum roll. Okay. Okay, what do you guys think of this? The world needs more salt, people apron.
It's kind of difficult.
Can they see it?
Kind of. Yeah, we can see it enough.
And vanilla.
Hang on. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you guys think of the new apron design? Do you like it? I love it. I think it's great.
I definitely love it.
I think it's great. I'm going to put a poll on Facebook tonight after the show to see what you guys think.
Like it. That looks
Good.
good. We have a few. A few have seen it already.
How have a few seen it already?
No, I'm saying a few have seen it between when you showed it and when you had it on the computer.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was confused.
It's a little better. You have my vote. Cute. Love the apron. There was one that Tara was trying to do, but it didn't work out.
There is a comma, Jonathan. You know what Jonathan is getting for Christmas?
Oh, no. You better not say it on the show. I'll tell him later. I already know what you're going to say. About what price are you looking for butter? Sharon is wondering.
For me, it's $2 a pound or less. For my assistant Heidi, I think she gets it for $1.50 a pound.
Yum.
I'm not sure.
Marilyn says turkey enchiladas. That would be awesome.
Oh yeah, turkey enchiladas would be good.
Hey, IR 1003 1981 has given us a super chat. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks again. Wow, I haven't seen you in a couple days. Let's see. Anyone else making prime rib? Oh, are you done with that, or do you want to look at questions now, or are you still got more?
Okay, so I got a couple more. Okay, no, well, let's see. Oh no, I hit it all. Okay, I hit it all. Yep. Okay, so go ahead.
How do you feel about buying organic?
I think organic is a complete and total waste of money. There you go.
But if you want to do it, you can save.
No.
You just won't save as much.
If you want to do it, you can save, but you better not be doing it if you have any debt. If your debt is completely and 100% paid off, okay, go for it. But I don't think you should be wasting money on organics. I talked to a scientist at a very, Mike was there, you witnessed it.
He was awesome.
We talked to a scientist who was a chemist, chemistry professor. Okay, chemistry professor.
No,
And
he was a chemist who.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a chemistry professor, but he was also a chemist. But he said that, and he wouldn't go on camera because he knows what a controversy this makes. But he said that he would never waste money on organic food. He said 99.9% of the pesticides wash off on your food if you just clean your fruits and vegetables before you use them, because it's water soluble. The pesticides are water soluble. That means they dissolve in water. And so he said that and this guy was pretty hippie. I mean, he looked like he would have been in, I thought for sure he was going to say, use all the organic stuff, because he was just, that kind of a guy. A natural type person. But he said there is no way he would waste money on it. I completely agree with him. I have 11 grandparents who ate non-organic foods most of their lives, and all but 2 of them lived or are still living in their 90s or older. One died of a hospital mess up. The other did die in his 70s. But everybody else, all my other grandparents, 9 of my grandparents and great-grandparents lived to be over 90, between 90 and 100 when they died. Or 89. My grandma was like 4 months from being 90. But still, that's really good.
Yeah, and there's a lot of fear out there that they're trying to spread, and fear is usually not a good thing.
It's all fake, and it's all fear-based, and there's absolutely no scientific evidence that there's anything wrong with it. And don't give me that whole jury said that Roundup causes cancer. It is a jury of non-doctors and non-scientists. I'm sorry. That is wrong. For a jury to be making, what is it, Monsanto,
well,
to be paying billions of dollars on something they don't even know.
Well, the problem with that too is that if you've heard of the jury thing, that's a civil case and not a criminal case, and the civil case does not require. I don't believe a civil case requires the entire jury to be in agreement, and the bar for deciding whether it's likely is not nearly as high as if it's a criminal case. In a criminal case, you have to be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
So,
Jonathan's right. He packs his Thanksgiving leftovers for several lunches and throws them in the freezer. Jonathan, that's great. I mean, just get yourself, if you want, some of those lunch divided things if you want, and just pre-pack the whole thing. Put your turkey and your mashed potatoes and your gravy in one thing, and then put your veggies in another. Your cooked veggies and a roll on the other one, and there you go.
So on the apron, Jody says the cut doesn't seem very feminine on the one online. Laura said, I like the style of what you're wearing, not really feeling the other one.
Okay, but the problem is, this isn't possible. This is handmade. So if we're going to do aprons, there's no way that I can possibly get this for a good enough price that I could resell it. Yeah. There's no way I could have anybody make something like this and I be able to resell it and me make money off of it. It's just not possible.
Don't we have a fruit and vegetable wash on the website?
Yes, we have a fruit and vegetable wash, but here's the thing. I just use water. I just rinse it with water. You can do baking soda vinegar if you want. Sweet potato casserole right there, guys. Look at that yummy goodness.
Yeah,
Can you see it?
Yes.
You don't like sweet potatoes, do you?
Me?
I think you do.
I like them, just not very fond of the pecans, but
oh, that's right.
I would actually eat the pecans too, even though I'm not that fond of them.
That's all right.
So let's see. Do you cook your turkey upside down? Okay, I was just making sure I didn't miss any
Yes. Put
questions
the
on
breast
this part.
side down so all the juice goes into the breast.
It's actually super delicious, but because it's so tender, it doesn't stay together very well.
No, you're going to serve it pre-carved. You're not going to be sitting at the table doing the carving. But let me tell you, having a turkey that actually tastes good or sitting here having Dad carve it, sorry, Dad, you'll have to find another tradition because it's not worth it.
Believe me, that wouldn't be a very good tradition. I'm glad we... I'm not sure if you said it or somebody else said it, but Sue said, I thought you were not supposed to refreeze meat. There's nothing wrong with refreezing meat, is there?
No, there's nothing wrong with refreezing it. You don't necessarily refreeze it. So like if I had raw roast beef, pot roast, whatever you want to call it, and you take it out, I wouldn't go back and refreeze it because that can cause freezer burn later. But you can cook the roast beef and then freeze it. Yeah.
Amy, my youngest just asked, does that mean when it rains on the fruits and vegetables, it washes off?
Yeah.
Probably.
It does.
Well, there's a lot of
Which
misinformation.
is why they have to respray.
And you have to be careful, not just on that topic, but all sorts of other topics. It's funny, I think I heard somebody quoting from C.S. Lewis the other day talking about how a lot of these things are not actually brought forth by scientists, but by media people and marketing people. And that's a thing that when I was a television producer for 20 years, for those of you who don't know, and I wasn't in news, but I was really close to it. And I realized, wow, there's virtually nothing in the news that's exactly right. And a lot of stuff is really wrong. And sometimes it's intentional and sometimes it's just because people aren't paying attention. But so when you hear stuff all over the news, I wouldn't immediately just go with that. And I especially wouldn't go with it if you see some YouTuber whose thing is at the top of the list with like scary looking graphics and big exclamation points, because that's not scary looking graphics and exclamation points and good marketing is not science and is not necessarily fact. So that's our thinking on that.
Yeah. And
a lot of times I'm one of those people that's curious when I hear something and I like to go do a lot of research on it, and it's really interesting if you look at people who are talking about everything being a conspiracy, it'll all be bad news.
Yeah. Well, and here's the thing. Oh, crud. I was going to say something. Somebody said something and it brought...
Do you remember a word that's in it? I'll search it.
No. Oh, crud. You know, people can disagree with me on Roundup all they want. I'm sorry. I don't believe it.
But if you want to live in fear and spend more money than you need to...
That's what I was going to say. This same chemist said people get sicker from worrying about all that stuff.
Oh, from the stress. Yeah.
From the stress of worrying about it more than if they just ate it and moved on with life. You're not eating anything. That's it. If you wash your fruits and vegetables, there's nothing on there that you're eating.
See, one of the difficult things with that is we're in a culture now where people say a lot of scary stuff, other people share scary stuff, and if it sounds really scary, people assume then it's true. But the truth is, it's not true if it sounds scary. It's true if it's a fact. And we might not know for sure on certain things what is the fact, but we can kind of have a pretty good idea. But when you hear scary things and people tell scary stories, if there's no evidence, you can't go with that.
Here's the thing. Hundreds and hundreds of years, thousands of years, for 6,000 years, there was no pesticides or anything. The last, 70 years, 80 years, they've had pesticides and fertilizers. They were not able to grow enough food for everyone. We are supplying so much food, we are supplying it to the rest of the world now because growing our food is so efficient. My grandparents lived through the Great Depression. They lived through the Dust Bowl. They know what it's like to not have food. And let me tell you, that is stress. And I'm sorry, and I know there are thousands of people with me who agree, who disagree. That is fine. I don't really care. I'm telling you, this is my show. You asked my opinion. I'm giving it to you. But I'm not going to worry about the stress of it. So, anyway.
But that doesn't mean you always have to agree with us or do what we say, unless you want to save money and, you know.
If you want to go to all that work-grown organic food, I don't care. Go for it.
Well,
but
and it's okay doing garden stuff.
I have other stuff that I want to do. I'm a huge gardener, but I don't want to grow all of my food, so.
Let's see.
Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it, though.
Dr. Dave AZ, that's why I left broadcasting, fake and or sensationalized. Totally. I remember how long, I'd only been 3 years in the business when that Pullman riot story came up. There was this, oh man, the first time I really noticed how completely out in left field it was. And they were really trying to make a story out of no story. And this was the Seattle news. So...
Well, tell them what happened. You didn't tell them what
Well,
happened.
I worked at Washington State University, and there was a fraternity. Some people were out and they were drinking, and it was a Friday night, and a couple of guys in the fraternity got in a fight with a couple of other guys, and there were a bunch of people standing around watching. And in the midst of it, somebody set a dumpster on fire, and somebody broke a window at a Burger King. But I came home for the weekend because I didn't actually live there, and so I was out of Pullman, the town, for about 3 days, and came back on Monday. And I said, "Man, I saw in the news there was a big riot here," and they said, "Riot?" Because it looked like the Los Angeles riots from was it 1980s? Mm-hmm. It looked like the Los Angeles riots, the way they did all their video footage with just all kinds of, they just kept going back to the burning dumpster and different angles on the burning dumpster and all kinds of stuff. And I asked, and my friends at the university were saying, "What do you mean a riot?" And I said, "Well, the news was talking about it like the whole town was burning down." And they said, "Oh, that was just a frat boy fight." And so I got to paying more attention. I realized, wow, there was no story here. Well, I was the person that they would call to ask for permission to use our television studio at the time. And so I started getting calls from the Seattle stations wanting to borrow to rent our television studio and roll the equipment out into the courtyard so they could interview students as they walked by about the great Pullman riots of whatever year that was. And I said, well, what riots? And in the end, they still wanted to go ahead and rent the equipment, and they did this big focus story on it. And I was thinking, really? But in 20 years of production, I was never really in the news, but I was close enough to see a lot of stories like that. And there are a lot of other ones where the people had a personal opinion on something, so they told the story in a way to make sure their opinion was shared. But they didn't say it's my opinion. They said, this is the news. These are the facts. And so it's kind of like Facebook. You can't really trust it just because somebody posted it. So yeah, that really, really got me on the news thing.
Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, I don't believe the whole we shouldn't use chemicals things. I'm sorry. Malaria, typhoid, pneumonia, the flu, childbirth, all of those things have been helped or eradicated because of chemicals. Just not getting sick in your own kitchen because of bleach. And vinegar is not the same as bleach. It is not. Don't fall for that vinegar kills as many germs as it does bleach. It does not. Vinegar kills 80%, bleach kills 99.9%. That is a huge difference. But here's the thing. There are so many things that chemicals help us with. Mike and I were just talking about it today. And we are so fortunate to live in a time when we have chemicals that help us with diseases, sickness, help us grow our food, help make our homes more comfortable. If you're going to not use chemicals, you can't sit on a couch, you can't drive a car, you can't put on any makeup, you can't put on any clothes because chemicals are used for all of those things. So personally, I don't go for that one either. So anyway, I did not mean to get on the whole organic thing.
But you're welcome to spend a lot more money on it if you want.
If you want to, but here's the thing. Don't come whining to me about how you can't pay your debt if you are buying organic food. Sorry, but if you're in hawk up to your eyeballs and you're spending $1,000 a month on organic food, I have zero sympathy for you.
It's your problem.
Absolutely zero.
So Alice says, I know you're a big fan of salt, but I don't see it in the turkey recipe. Just turkey and butter. Do you salt and pepper it? Oh, I didn't share our link.
No, we do not salt and pepper it, but let me just make sure before I say anything. Okay, I don't say it, but we are assuming you're using salted butter in the recipe, and most turkeys have a salt solution that's already injected into them.
Actually, it's funny. One person is saying pharmaceuticals or chemicals right on target. Because did you say medicines are? Well, and Alice says, I was a hairdresser for 20 years. People, we need chemicals. But you know what's funny about chemicals is there's one particular chemical that you would die without consuming it every single day. And it's water. Water is a chemical. And so it's funny how when people use the word chemicals, other people get scared. But what does that really mean?
900 people?
What?
Holy cow! Well, hi, guys!
Well, welcome.
Wow! I think, is this like our biggest show ever?
It's one of them.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Hot diggity dog. Here's the thing. I don't get the flu shot, even though I have a chronic illness. But I think that if you're elderly or you have a chronic illness, go ahead and get the flu shot. Here's the things, guys. Vaccines, even though I'm not a huge vaccine person, I don't think that kids now, what's that new vaccine that they got for cancer?
HPV.
I don't think they should be giving that to kids, because that is specifically because of a chosen behavior that you are choosing to do. Okay? Oh man, alive.
Like, why are we getting into
How
this?
do I get
This is a
into
Thanksgiving
myself
show.
into these things? Here's the thing.
That's all I'm gonna say. about
Polio was eradicated, well, mostly eradicated, by vaccine. We don't have kids dying or being permanently messed up because of measles and mumps because of vaccines. There are some good vaccines, but I think that when you're just giving vaccines for like chickenpox just so the kids don't miss from school or whatever, okay, I get that that spreads all over the school, and I get that, but my kids had the chickenpox vaccine, and Dave got the chickenpox anyway. So, so it didn't help for us. So I think you just need to use a little bit of common sense. My kids don't get every vaccine under the sun. If they're going to choose to have sex before marriage and they get a disease, there's nothing... I don't think that giving them a vaccine is going to help with that. You know, God gives us these rules, not really rules, but God tells us to do these things for our own good. So anyway, use your brain, decide what you want for your family. For us, I don't just go dumping everything down them, except for elderberry when Dave starts getting sick.
Don't have this.
But I will use supplements like elderberry. And Dave used to be horrid at getting sick. I am not exaggerating, this kid would get sick every 3 months, and he would be sick for 6 to 8 months. And then 2 months later, he'd get sick again. He's been on elderberry for a year now, and he has not gotten a full-blown 6-week coughing fit like he has for his whole entire life. So there's things like that that work, and I'm all for some natural things. But I also know that there are a lot of people who are living today. Oh man. They're living today because they have cancer chemicals. And I am sorry. I think those people who say we shouldn't have any chemicals of any kind are flat out wrong. And I think other people who are on the fence should not be listening to that kind of baloney. Because there are people who have lived years and seen their kids and grandkids because of chemicals that have helped cancer. So don't go and give me that. Use some common sense. I'm calming myself down here. Use some common sense. Use your brain. And be thankful that our kids aren't dying from pneumonia when they're 6 months old like they used to. Go to an old cemetery and look at the families from 1918, and there's 6 kids buried all in 1918 when all of them got the flu and they all died. Can you imagine how that poor mother must have felt when all of her kids died in one fell swoop from the flu because there was nothing to reduce the fever? Sorry. I think we don't know enough about history, and we don't learn and read enough about history to know how bad and horrible these things are. And we are so spoiled now because we don't have to deal with things like the measles and the mumps and pneumonia and that kind of stuff. I'm done.
Okay, and that's all I have to say about that.
All right, show's
We need to
going.
add that to your list of sayings.
I'm sorry, it makes me so angry because my great-grandmother lived through the Great Depression. She lived through the Dust Bowl, and it was horrid. At 86 or 7 years old, she was sobbing because they literally had eaten their last meal, and they thought they were just going to starve to death because her dad had left 3 weeks earlier on foot, on snowshoes, to go try and get supplies 50 miles away in the snow, through snowdrifts, and he hadn't come back in 3 weeks, and they thought he was dead. Why? Because they could not grow enough food to sustain their family because they didn't have things like fertilizer and pesticides to keep their crops going. So, I'm sorry.
Are you?
It's fine. If that's what you want to believe, that's fine. But I am telling this to my viewers. And all of you who want to go out and do a video response to me, you go right ahead. Because you know what that does? That brings me more marketing, so thank you.
No, this was a happy show.
There you go. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Let's see.
I'm sorry, I just spit all over the computer. I'm sorry.
I don't see.
Let's get the Clorox.
I can't use Clorox. Sorry. 80s Twins 113. Use your brain. Great apron slogan.
Seriously, people, use your brains. I'm not going to talk about the comment we got the other day.
Well,
Never mind.
It's funny
But
'cause
yeah.
Death Row to Disney World says, I'm an RN 24 years. Don't work with one doctor that eats organic anything because they don't believe it.
They don't. And it's like when our son was having all those medical problems, we took him to a kidney doctor, and the kidney doctor said, do not go on the keto diet. It is dangerous. Now, I will have to say, I don't know if being overweight significantly
overweight might
is
be
more dangerous than the keto side effects. I don't know. But I do know that if you just cut back and eat 12 to 1,500 calories a day, you will lose weight.
You're going to hit everything tonight, aren't you?
And I am so exhausted. I spent 3 hours at the printers today working on our new planner. And I'm super excited because it's so cool. I can't wait to show you guys. I was sitting there thinking, oh man, this is cool. I'm going to actually use this planner because it actually is going to work. Okay.
All right, so let's see.
Okay, go back to YouTube just a second. How many people did I tick off? Oh, I only ticked off 6 people. That's great. Okay, go ahead.
What? Where are you seeing that?
Kathy, we have 980. It was 987 a little bit ago. 7 people, excuse me.
That's
Kathy,
'cause
I'm
they're
still here
taking
today
notes for the-
for their videos. I'm still here
I'm
due
sorry.
to chemo. Yes, Kathy.
Actually, there was a bunch of people
2008.
saying-
You're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's funny because people think that if Tara says, you know, I'm not afraid of this kind of of all chemicals, that means that you're advocating like drinking bleach and gasoline and horrible things like that.
I'm sure.
We're not, like, saying that at all.
I'm sure that if you just drowned yourself in chemicals, you're gonna get something. Okay.
If you drink bleach, you die.
If you are in that field, you need to have reasonable precautions. If you are a sprayer, put on gear. Take a shower when you're done. This is normal, reasonable precautions. But to sit there and say that the whole world has cancer because of Roundup is absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd.
Okay, so I think we had some other questions. Let's see if I can find. Oh, by the way, it's Miss Margaret Huff's birthday today.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Margaret!
birthday, Margaret! Yay!
Happy birthday!
Cindy had asked what to do with leftover Halloween candy. That's still on the front page of the website.
Yeah,
isn't
so
it?
we have a whole article on what to do with leftover Halloween candy. First of all, use all of the chocolates for your Christmas and Thanksgiving baking. So you can make a chocolate pie by melting down the all the chocolates that are pure chocolates. You can use them in pies and cakes for toppings, your Snickers, your Kit Kats, those kinds of things. You can use them in milkshakes, cookies, all those types of things. Put them in your baking as toppings.
Somebody asked, who was it? Tiffany, I've been watching Christmas movies all weekend, and a couple of other people said that.
We are starting tonight.
Michelle, we started already.
Well, we did. We already watched one. Usually we start in the middle of September. But this week this year I've been a little out of it with the whole kitchen redo. But we are getting our Christmas movies started.
Well, and there were some
Yes.
that we wanted to watch that we weren't able to find, and we realized we
Yeah.
have tons of credits on Amazon, so
Yeah.
we're gonna rent or buy some on there with
Yeah.
our free credits.
Okay, so the planners that I went and worked on today, we are super excited. I decided I'm going to go ahead and order 500 of each. I'll be honest, this absolutely terrifies me because we never know if a new product is going to sell or not. But we're going to do an 8.5 by 5.5 and an 8.5 by 11. We're going to do 2 different sizes. I am only getting 500 of each. I'm not ordering more than that. Well, I'm going to do a pre-order sale. If I sell more than 500 with the pre-order, then we'll order more. But what we pre-order is what we're going to do. But here's the thing. We're going to have in there daily. It's going to be a daily reminder. It's going to be appointments. It's going to be what's for dinner and a water tracker. Then it's going to be your top 3 to do. And then it's going to be your to-do list. And then a nice generous section for notes. Every page, we're going to have some wonderful thought from Tara, either a Bible verse or a motivational quote or a cleaning quote or some kind of humor. It is going to have a menus page for you to put your family's favorite menus for spring, winter, summer, and fall so that you can just go and quickly look at that favorite menus and go put it in what you need for the day for your dinner plans. We're going to have a budget page for you to write out your budget. We're going to have a debt payoff page where you can put in and track through the year how quickly you're getting your debt paid off. We're going to have a pocket in the front. And we're going to have a perforated shopping list every week so that you can tear off your shopping list every week and put it in there. It is going to be so stinking cool. I'm excited. And what I think we're going to do, I just kind of came up with this Friday, but I think we're going to have a planner pack that we're going to try and sell for Christmas. With the planner, make up a financial planner where you can keep all your bills, all your debt payoff, additional if you want, all your financial stuff, your stocks, your bonds, your investments, all that stuff in one planner. We're going to have a couple of notepads, one for menus and shopping, one for another to-do list, and then we're going to have our menus on a dime in there to help you with menus, and we're going to have a little, and we're going to call it, you want to know what we're going to call it? Can I tell them? The Get It Together People Planner Pack.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear a single thing I just said,
No,
did you?
I'm trying to go through comments because you said get questions.
So we're going to have a Get It Together People Planner Pack.
So you decided to do that then anyway?
I think so.
Why do you ask me if you should do it? Go ahead, that's fine.
Because I'm the risk taker and you're not.
Apparently.
No, this isn't what I was originally telling you about. This was something else, so.
You better tell me about it later. I like to find out a few minutes before everybody else.
And yes, there will be an electronic ebook version of the planners. I'm going to make them all electronic for those of you who don't want the actual book one and want to make your own.
But it's an ebook, but it's not like an app or anything right now because we don't have the.
Not an app. It's just an ebook so that you can print it out and put it in your own notebook. Yes.
But as far as like an app or something, even though we would love to do that, that's a much huger.
See, everybody's happy. See,
they're
happy. They're happy.
They're laughing. So anyway, that planner with the financial sounds good for my daughter. Yes. You should add in stickers like take 5 minutes to clean, drink more water, check the weekly ads. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Make them undated. That way they won't become obsolete.
We're having two, an undated and a dated version.
Yeah.
Yes. And when do we normally put up our tree? Normally I put it up the week before Thanksgiving. But you know what? I'm feeling festive, so I just may go ahead and put it up in the next week or so.
Well, and somebody must have been watching because I forgot who it was earlier in the show. She was saying that she was going to put it up and then leave it up all year and change it for each season.
That's what I do, yeah. Well, I don't leave it all year, but I leave it from before Thanksgiving to usually St. Patrick's Day. Sometimes Easter. Sometimes Easter.
Didn't you once go to Mother's Day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of cute because she just totally changes all the colors and the decorations.
Just so everybody knows, I have been doing this since, what year were you born, Dave?
2003.
I've been doing this since 2003.
How do you not know my birthday?
So I think I was the first person to do this.
Yeah.
And they stole my idea.
You should at least know my birthday.
But I've been doing this since before it was cool to do. And I've had all the
Rebecca
stuff.
was wondering, is the Thanksgiving meal in the cookbook listed as such? Do we have
No.
a meal defined in there?
It's not, all the recipes are in here, but it's not defined as the meal. And now the book is 608 pages, and we really just do not have space to put it in there. So, yeah.
Yeah, what's funny is I think Roberta said she's a physical planner person, and I was thinking, I think a lot of people are.
Well, and here's what I thought. If I had the planner pack, then I could sell it at a discount. And so I think that might be something we have for Black Friday. Maybe if we can get it all lined out. I spent 3 hours at the designer today. I think his poor head was about to explode.
Ugh. Thank goodness somebody took the pressure off me on the ideas.
And then the copy store owner, Goalie, she was in there, and afterwards she texted me. She was like, wow, I think my head is going to explode. I'm laughing too. I was to the point, just so you guys know, I was to the point where I was physically shaking so bad when I got done. At the end, we were making copies. I was shaking so bad, I couldn't flip through the pages to make sure they were all in the correct order because we had to go through and make sure they were all in the correct order for him.
Why were you shaking?
Because I was so sick from planning the planner. But it's cool, and I would actually use it. And did I tell you we're going to have a pocket in the front, too, to put all your receipts and everything?
What?
Like, get it together, people, in 2020.
I haven't heard any of this, folks. I'm learning it with you. And I'm not sure where the funding is coming from. I'm just kidding.
Let's hope they buy it, because, yeah.
So Amanda wants to know, do you like Karen Kingsbury books?
I don't know. I don't really like, who's the other lady? Beverly Lewis. I don't really like hers. Hers are depressing. I like cheery and uplifting books. I don't know, if Karen's are cheery and uplifting, sure, I'd like to try those. But, I don't know. If she was abused and all this is happening and then she has to figure it all out, it's like, ugh, we got enough of that going on in the world that I don't need to,
What were you smiling at me about?
Yes, 4 sticks of butter is a pound.
Alice, thanks guys. So wonderful to be getting really, really free of debt.
Yay!
Yay! Can and save the bones of bone broth after Thanksgiving. Debone the turkey and portion some in freezer bags for turkey pot pies or turkey and noodles. Yes.
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. Looking to see if there's anything. Will we be cooking this year? Going to Golden Corral again? We will be cooking this year. We did that because I thought it would be easier for Tara, but it really wasn't. And so, and I think the family likes just hanging out at home and in the nice, warm, cozy house with our faux fireplace.
Well, Golden Corral's food has gotten pretty untasty lately, huh?
Oh, it's kind of.
Yes.
What's that?
Where we go for Thanksgiving, but we're thinking about not going. The boys only eat pizza and mashed potatoes. And I'm like,
I don't remember the Golden Corral.
You don't remember?
I don't.
How do you know?
Ruth says I turned 60 on the 16th of November.
Happy birthday early!
Yay!
Yes. So. Yes. So we do pre-order sales, guys, for 2 reasons. One, we put out the cash ourselves to the tunes of tens of thousands of dollars for products. And so we do pre-order sales for 2 reasons. One, so that we don't have such an outlay of cash and we know for sure people are going to want this product. And 2, it gives us a count and lets us make sure that people want these products. So if we ever have a product where we're just like, woohoo, and we do a pre-sale and we get 20 orders, we'll refund all their money and we won't put that book out. That's never happened, but that's partly why we do it. And we also do it for a count so that I know approximately how many to print for printing, because I don't want to go print 10,000 books if we only have orders for 200 or 300. So that's partly why we do it. And yes, it does cost tens of thousands of dollars. When I've been talking about this on Facebook, one person was like,
"That's why
well, there's absolutely no way it could cost that much for a planner." For a planner, yes, it does. That is why planners are expensive. And the tabs increase the price by about $15. And so that's just part of it, guys. That's just part of buying products. And we've also had people that have said, well, that's not living on a dime. I never said you had to buy a planner. You can go wherever you want and get a planner. You can go get your piece of paper and do a planner. And that's fine. That's how Mom and I have done it for years. But people have specifically asked us for a planner. So we're doing it for those people who have specifically asked for it. So, do I feel guilty? Somebody said, well, don't you feel guilty for going against everything you preach? No.
We're not going against what we preach.
We have 1,500 videos. We have over 1,500 pages of free information. You can go get all the free information you want. This is for those people who want the convenience of having it all in one place and doing their own thing. So no, I don't feel guilty at all because these people have asked for it. I'm going to give them what they asked for. Just like more dining on a dime. We were working Friday and our brains were about sucked out of our heads.
It's amazing when you're trying to, because as we're fixing things and correcting things and adjusting things, it's amazing how many more things come out. But that's what it takes to get it right.
So we were proofreading the sequel to Dining on a Dime cookbook, the best cookbook you will ever buy. You will get your money back the first trip to the grocery store. Everybody does. But our More Dining on a Dime cookbook is coming out. And we've had people say, well, what do you need another cookbook for? Well, because it's all new recipes. It's all the recipes that we didn't put in Dining on a Dime that we wanted to add.
We found a lot more since then.
And it's been 20 years, so we have put all those recipes in there, and now it's even better. So and you can get it at livingonadime.com.
I've been waiting to answer Mr. Brown's question.
But I have something to say.
Well, you want to say this because... So we said it. We did mention it earlier, but we have a post traditional Thanksgiving recipes. It's very top on our website, livingonadime.com right now.
Yep.
And it's
page 251, Dining on a Dime.
How to roast the turkey. It's the very best.
Living livingonadime.com.
If you want it to taste the best and be the best consistency, you want to try that one. Yeah.
Livingonadime.com. It's in our 25 traditional
Thanksgiving.
$25 traditional Thanksgiving dinner, or just type in turkey. The best turkey will come up, and I'm telling you, it is moist and it's delicious, and your family will say this is the best turkey. And I tell you, I bet we would have 150 people right now watching that will testify to that, because this is the best turkey you will ever eat. As a matter of fact, it's so good, I'm considering putting out a press release again, even though I swore I'd never do any more radio or newspaper interviews. It is so delicious. I think the world needs to know.
Yeah.
Again.
So, let's see. Will you do pre-orders for aprons for Black Friday?
Yes.
And somebody else was asking, are you going to be doing pre-orders for the planners?
Yes.
And Debbie wants to know, when will the planner pack come out?
So, I'm hoping to have it all designed the end of next week and ready to show you guys. And then hopefully the planner packs will be ready to ship the first week of December. Here's the thing though, I'm only going to do a limited number of the whole entire packs, with the planner and the menu and the shopping notepad and the to-do notepad and the menus book and the little notebook. We're trying to get an apron, a Get It Together People apron to put in that pack also. But we'll see how the apron thing goes. We're having a few issues with the aprons, so I don't know about that.
So many of these ideas just blew into her mind last week, and suddenly here we are. You've got scissors in your hands. I shouldn't be laughing.
My mom thinks I need medication.
Well, okay. Do we want to discuss that on the show? Will Jill be here for Thanksgiving?
No.
No.
No, we might go back to Kansas, but that's really iffy right now, so I don't know.
I think we don't want to leave.
Yes. Okay, so before pre-orders, guys, here's the thing. Before pre-orders for the aprons and before pre-orders of the planners, it's gonna be nailed down, and you are gonna see what it is actually gonna look like. I do not, please, I do not want you to think that I'm just gonna expect you to say, oh, sure, I'll buy a planner. No, you're gonna see what the actual pages look like. You're gonna see what it looks like. Every single feature is gonna be on there, what the cover looks like, because I know some people, they want a planner to be pretty, and if it's not pretty, they don't buy it, and that's totally fine. And we're working on making a pretty cover, so you are gonna see what the planner looks like before any pre-orders are even started. I have just been talking about it on Facebook just to see if anybody is even interested at all in doing this. So that's why I've been talking about it on Facebook.
Thanks, Janelle. Thanks a lot.
What did Janelle say?
I love when Tara gets all those great ideas. It's so much fun.
Yeah, because then she gets more work.
Well, that's true.
Which could be a bad thing.
Yeah.
Janelle is my assistant. Yeah.
Mike writes the check, so Mike hesitates.
Yeah. How is my brother doing? My brother is not doing well at all. So please continue to keep him in your prayers. Thank you, everyone who has been praying for my brother. He has said he knows that you guys are praying for him, and he greatly, greatly appreciates it. So thank you for that.
Huh. I'm slightly confused, Ashlyn. I really love your videos and watching them for months, but this is finally the first show I'm able to watch because it's already 1:43 in the morning here in Germany.
Whoa.
Wow. So do you work at night, or are you up at night for whatever reason? Wow.
Please, just watch us later and go to sleep.
Well, no, I'm thinking she's saying because we're on this time that she's able to watch, which makes me think she has to be up at that time. So
okay, well
good.
I'm
glad. We're really glad to have you here.
Yay!
So yay. All right, so since it's been an hour and a half, are we going to wrap it?
Yes, because I feel like I'm going to pass out.
Okay, here. Let me catch you. All right, Jeeves. No.
All right, please like, subscribe, and share. Please check out our Dining on a Dime cookbook so we can keep all these lights on and going. And we are living on a dime to grow rich because it's not about wallowing in your misery. It's about having a better life even if you don't have any money. And if you do have money, it's about getting out of debt so you are not a slave to your debt.
Yes.
We are not going to get into that tonight.
Because you've already
Even though
burned
I
up all your
really
steam.
want to.
All right.
You ready?
Well, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next show on Wednesday.
Visit us at livingonadime.com.
Bye.
Oh yeah, I'm making apple pie on Wednesday.
Oh, yum.
Homemade. It's our #1 recipe on the website right now, and it is the best apple pie you will ever eat.
It's awesome.
It's delicious. No more of that store-bought stuff.
I used to not like apple pie till then because I'd only had the store-bought stuff. Oh, it's really, really
It's good.
delish.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye.